Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ini kita lanjut ya ke part 3-nya. Langsung aja.
Okay. Let's look at this model in 3D view. I'm going to unlock the model now. Okay, now under the draw menu, let's talk about adding some cladding to the structure and then applying wind pressure coefficients to them. So under the draw auto cladding. Cladding consists of shell objects with a none section property that are added to the outermost perimeter of the structure. Cladding properties have no weight or structural properties. Its intent is to facilitate application of wind loads to the structure. So there are a few different options available to you. I'm going to go through each one of these. First of all, just based upon the locations of the floor elements, cladding can be generated automatically along the perimeter of the structure. So we'll click the use floors, and if we click OK here, one thing, I need to turn off the extruded shape to have the cladding show. Okay, so now you have some gray shell area objects that have been applied to the structure. Now if I rotate this around, actually a better way to view this is to look at the elevation.
Tadi extrude-nya dimatiin ya, dia. Extrude-nya dimatiin, terus dia kan tadi import cladding itu ya.
C, which would be along this face. Okay, I'll turn off the extruded shape here. Okay, look, so it drew some cladding on the structure, but you'll notice that cladding was not added to this floor here, the second floor. And that is due to the fact that there are area objects located on the perimeter on the floor below, so it didn't recognize the location. So that's fine. We can make changes to it very easily. So what we can do here is we'll go to the second level and apply cladding now using the beam elements. So if we click on plan view, and I think it's the third story, let's take a look. And what we can do is, I'm going to take the time to select all of the perimeter beams and then use those beams as the basis of generating the cladding. So I'll just zoom in here a little bit. And I'm going to select all the beams on the extents of the structure here on the perimeter. This just takes a moment. I'll just zoom in here. We'll select some more beams, and I'm going to turn off the extruded shape here so it's a little easier to view the beam selection. Couple more. Okay, now we'll go back to the draw auto cladding tool, and this time we'll select beams. So now you see the cladding has now been added to that story, which was initially missing. So this is very common, This is a model that has some unique geometry. I'll rotate this around a little bit. You can see there's some curved shell elements on the right-hand side. And I'll turn on back the extruded shape. Oh, maybe not. Anyway, the point of this is to show you that there are some curved elements located on the far right-hand side of the corner of the structure. Let's turn that extruded shape off. There we go. So you see cladding has been added to the entire structure. So now, if we go back to that elevation C, we can use these area objects, these cladding area elements, to apply wind pressure coefficients. So I'll go to elevation C, which is this face right here. So what I can do is I can just select these area objects. And again, if you look at if I just go to assign, shell loads, and then wind pressure coefficients. So I'll apply this wind pressure coefficients to this wind pattern name. 0.8 in the windward, I'll click apply. I can also add 0.4 to the leeward. Oh, but you'll notice here, after I clicked apply to the windward load, the loads were automatically applied here on the left-hand side of the screen. So if I rotate this a little bit and take a look, you can see there's the load application. Oops. 0.8 in the windward direction, and I can do also the same for in the leeward direction. 0.4, click apply. Once you apply the load, you need to select the area objects again. So I can click previous select here using the tool in the left-hand corner of the screen. And then for leeward, I can click 0.4. That's a better angle there. You can kind of see the load application.
Ya, tadi dia
okay.
Yang awal kan ini ya, windward ya, terus leeward ya. Tapi ini dia replicate aturan add ya, biar tambah. Replicate, kalau di replicate berarti ini nanti hilang yang awalnya.
Okay. I think this is a good time to perhaps field some questions. I'm going to open up the control panel here and take a look at some questions that have been asked. Okay. Just give me 1 second here as I open up some of these questions. Okay, my colleague is going to join us here. Okay, one of the questions here. Okay, can ETABS assign a different parapet height for each of the primary building directions? If not, is there a recommended workaround?
You can assign different parapet heights for the different directions if you make two separate window patterns for them.
Okay.
Semi-rigid diaphragm above that.
Okay, let's see. Okay, 1 second. We'll get some more questions here.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, when defining a semi-rigid diaphragm, is a program able to calculate the in-plane stiffness characteristics of the diaphragm based on materials, or do those values need to be calculated outside and entered by the user?
Yeah, the program is able to calculate the in-plane stiffness of the semi-rigid diaphragm based on the thicknesses and the materials that are that comprise those floors.
Nanti kita lanjut ya ke yang part-4-nya ya. Ini untuk tanya jawab sih. Jadi dia udah selesai tentang
There we go.
webinarnya ini ya.
Does the depth parameter in the wind load pattern definition correspond to the story height, or is it the width?
That is the plan dimension in the other direction. It is not the story height. The gust factors can be calculated automatically for some of the codes where the natural frequency of the building is accounted for, but that is only applicable for some of the codes right now that we have more details on.